We're calling to order the February 18th, 2026 meeting of the Community Engagement Commission. We'll begin with our roll call. Robin Beckdahl.
Here.
Bill Norman, present. Brittany Sitten, I believe she is excused. Do we need a motion for that?
I make a motion that we excuse Brittany and Logan from tonight's meeting.
I second.
Oh, and Lori.
Oh, I second those.
So
three
that's
excuses.
Brittany, Logan, and Lori. Or a motion for them to be excused. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The motion passed. So now Ralph Carlberg,
Yep, I'm here.
Leah Stussy,
Present.
Mark Sava.
Here.
Thank you very much. I think that constitutes a quorum, so we can proceed. The chair entertains a motion that have we reviewed the agenda for tonight?
I make a motion that we amend the agenda by adding between E and F under items to discuss in business, the Liberty Lake logo discussion.
I second.
All in favor of amending our agenda to include a discussion of the city logo, which we will entertain after we discuss the 4th of July founders. All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
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 Thank you. The motion is passed.
Now, do we have to,
Yeah, the chair entertains a motion that we approve the agenda as revised, amended.
I second.
Well, I need a motion.
Oh, I make a motion that we approve the revised agenda as written.
Thank you. Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The agenda is approved. Now, just taking a look at our minutes from last month's meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting as submitted.
Thank you.
I second him.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you. All right. Are there anyone for public comments online, Shane?
No, sir.
Okay, thank
Anyone in
you.
the audience? No?
Nope.
It's
Then we'll move on to City Hall updates. David?
I almost did not do this document this time because we didn't have much. I was just going to do it verbally, but I wanted to send you all the information about the Facebook messages we had about various tree issues that have come up. And there's been ongoing discussion regarding trees in Liberty Lake on some of the social media sites locally. And I just wanted to allow you folks the opportunity. You folks are the force multipliers of information that City Hall has that you can put out to the community. I see Brittany, I see Leah a lot of times posting the information you're aware of because you are part of this in helping inform people on various Facebook sites, various other social media sites. So I wanted to do what I could to provide you information on what is and is not happening with trees. I did send out the links to you directly, I think like a week or so ago on these, but if you haven't taken the opportunity to look at these particular 3 posts regarding removal of trees on Sprague Avenue, removal of trees from medians on Moultrie Avenue, and then there was also an issue with some trees that got removed from a private property next door to the high school during some early stage construction work that you can see going on there. A lot of people have been wondering on some of the social media sites about is Liberty Lake still going to be able to be a tree city? How can Liberty Lake be a tree city if you're cutting down trees? Well, our Public Works Director, Ben Turner, had this really short, concise, 2-minute, 20-second explanation about what is a tree city, how do you get to that during the city council meeting. I put a clip of that brief comment on our YouTube site. And I just want to share with you, and I looked this up myself too, like within the last hour, from the National Arbor Day Foundation. The Tree City designation comes from an organization called the National Arbor Day Foundation. It's a special way to help promote the planting of trees. That's what the organization does. here are the four things that make any city a tree city. Number one, you have to establish a tree board or department. We've done that through Public Works. You have to adopt an ordinance on policy, and this is kind of amusing in terms of some of the comment lately. One of the requirements for being a tree city is you need to adopt an ordinance on the policies for planting, maintaining, and removing trees. That's part of what a tree city requirement is. Removing trees is part of this. Number three, create a community forestry program, which means spend $2 per person in the community on trees. We have about a 14,000 plus population. The city spends well over $28,000, well over $30,000 on tree maintenance, tree-related employees. We have 2 staff members who are directly involved with that work, and their salaries go towards this work. And then number 4 is just have some kind of an Arbor Day celebration, and we do that every year. I've been to several over by the schools. My first one here was at Rocky Hill Park. So those are the 4 criteria. There is nothing in the Arbor Day Foundation that says if you remove X number of trees from your community, you can no longer be a tree city. That's just not there.
If I can make a comment,
Arbor Day
though.
cares about trees being healthy, not
Yes,
just existing.
Absolutely.
And these were all unhealthy trees to begin with. And the only trees that are affecting Liberty Lake are the ones on Moulter. The trees along Sprague are county.
Right.
That is not Liberty Lake. And we need to let the people know that. If they have an issue, go to the county.
Well,
We're supporting it as a city, but the final say-so was not us.
You took my next comment, but.
Oh, I'm
exactly
sorry,
right.
David.
No, exactly right. It's great to hear that
Yeah.
from you, not just me.
Well, that's what that's what I've been telling people. It's not, Liberty Lake is not, that's not our responsibility.
The trees are within the city limits of Liberty Lake, but they are owned by Spokane
Spokane
County because
County,
Spokane
right.
County owns that golf course.
Yep.
mhm.
And it was kind of a mutual beneficial deal between the city and the county to take those trees out when they were taken out a few weeks ago. Sometime approximately 4 years from now, if the funding all works through, the city is planning to do a few $1 million road construction project on Sprague.
And
The-
also drainage, water
Yeah.
sewer project. This is something that we've been talking about extensively in the capital.
Yes. And as part of that, the city would need to cut down those trees anyway. Because they were done now and because the city was going to be doing that maybe in the future, the city partnered with Spokane County to take down those trees. So it costs less for Spokane County. It costs less for the city to do it now. Some people have been wondering, well, what about the trees on the other side of the road? Well, number one, they're not
Private
within city
property.
limits. And number two, they are on people's private property.
It's there.
They do whatever they want to do with their trees.
So if they want to have trees that are rotted out in the center and falling on their house and keep them,
That's
they
their-
can
that's
water
their
them and
deal.
prune them to their heart's content.
Absolutely.
One other thing that I think bears mentioning as we consider how we might respond or promote the message is is the fact that I believe chief arborist, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Master arborist.
Master arborist, yeah,
Now,
And that's
he
less
is
than
now
2% of the arborist population.
absolutely. Less than
So-
1,000.
Dan Moss.
Which speaks to how seriously we take this.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Not only-
I took the high road and I didn't comment when somebody's like, I'd like to see this master arborist credentials. And I was like, oh, so you can compare and see if you went to the same arborist school?
Right, yeah.
Because I think a lot of you guys are being armchair arborists at home.
If I recall, that particular comment was before I put up the posting saying that he had just gained his status, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I,
95% of the stuff on social media is BS anyway.
It
People just, vent.
Complaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hiding behind the screen. If you
And
will.
that's an important thing for everybody to consider, and we'll talk about this, I think, when we get to talking logos, I have some things to prepare to speak on that.
Yeah.
But I agreed with Mark on this thing. When you see things on social media, look at the source. I've seen things in the last few weeks where people just did not know their facts, and
Right, sure.
I'm sometimes very eager to,
They speak.
if it's
before
city
they
related, I
listen.
will post on that to put the correct facts out there. you know,
I think people mistake social media for activism and being involved.
Yes, actually, good point.
Well said.
write that down,
Rick.
put it on a shirt.
Good.
You know, because if they wanted to be involved, if they wanted to help with these
be
decision-making
here.
properties, they'd be filling out their community satisfaction
Absolutely.
survey. They would be attending town halls, they'd be attending
City council
public meetings,
yes,
commission meetings.
Yes,
They would be writing to or calling or visiting people at the city and actually talking to about it. They wouldn't just be like flapping their gums on social media.
are we done talking trees?
I think so.
I've got a question, then number two, why did the library step away from Touch a Truck and give it to Parks and Arts?
We received notice that it was a staffing issue. They wanted to have the person who would have been doing this as a fairly new employee.
Okay.
Jandy wanted to have that staff member do other things that are
Okay.
connected with her job. And now I'll give you the background on how we got to where we are now. When this message came out, when I heard this information from Jandy, within the hour, I went into the city administrator's office and I talked to Jen Kemp, our parks person. And I said, I just got this message. We all got this message from Jandy. And I said, this is a really big event, I think, in Liberty Lake. I've been very impressed from it when I first saw it here. And I was thinking in PR terms. Winter Glow was not, I'm not even gonna call it that. The light display at Orchard Park was not at the same scale as Winter Glow had been in the past. So, there were some community comments negatively on that.
Let 'em-
And I didn't like the idea of Touch a Truck going away right after that. So it took a couple of quick conversations and other conversations, and Parks is doing it. The plans look really good.
Is that Jen that's in charge of that or
Jen
Mikhail?
and
And
Mikhail.
McKell.
Okay, I would like to reach out to them because in my previous volunteer role in Ephrata, the fire department put on Touch a Truck and I was deeply involved in
Hmm.
that for like 10 years. And so I will email them and offer my help and
Great.
previous expertise.
Cause I've offered.
What
mine.
is the Touch a Truck?
Touch a Truck is an event where they contact, different industries, buses, garbage trucks, construction equipment,
Oh.
planes, boats, ATVs, police cars. Bring 'em all.
Helicopters.
Yeah, they bring them all out and let kids crawl through them and touch them and experience them.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really, really great community event
Oh,
for kids of lots of ages.
yeah.
One thing, and this is one thing I'd want to talk to him about, that we instituted in Ephrata was having the first hour as a sensory friendly hour for children with sensitivities or developmental disabilities that couldn't handle all like the honking and the sirens and stuff. And so it was like a quiet hour without like all that lights and noise and stuff.
cool.
And we partnered with the local autism society to put that together for them, with them, to make it a more enjoyable experience for people of all abilities.
Well, you should see what the preliminary thing is. They've got Touch a Truck itself.
Mhm.
They're having inflatables.
Okay,
Mikhail reached out to me about getting the train at the guy that does the golf cart train
oh, cool.
there to do that.
Yeah, we did
And
like
then-
a ride that
Mhm.
was pulled by like a four-wheeler.
And this is pulled by a golf cart.
Okay,
And then in the evening, they're gonna have music.
nice.
So yeah, Mikhail's put together a pretty neat program. So yeah,
Awesome.
reach out to Mikhail Stevens. He's
Perfect. I
pretty
will,
much running.
I will. We did a food drive with ours and
Mhm.
we created like a little passport thing that if you went to all the like safety type stations, because like police, fire department, bus, like there's different stations, they could get like a punch on their passport. And if they went to all the stations and turned it in, made a donation of food, they could be entered for a drawing for a birthday party at the fire station.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So just cool stuff like that.
That's
So
great.
I will reach out to them because I'm
Definitely.
excited to help.
Mhm.
For Ralph's benefit, this was previously held like between like 10 a.m. and 11. Sometimes I would see comments from people wondering, why can't you do it on a weekend so I can go there with my kids? It's done during a weekday. The
Mm.
current plan is to run this thing from between 3 o'clock and 7 p.m. this time.
On a Friday.
And this will be the first time that Mikhail is wanting to bring in some music, live music,
Mhm.
maybe some more food carts. Really make it, and you look at the date on this first weekend of summer. It's a nice kickoff. I think this is the Friday of after Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Fourth.
It's a nice new kickoff for summer.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Okay.
And I am looking forward to the logo discussion at the end.
I was just checking so yeah, that's right. Well, Memorial Day is the 25th. So it's the following week,
June 4th,
6th.
6th. Is that the fourth? Is that,
Friday, June sixth.
oh, June 6th?
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
That's the Friday.
yeah. Okay, so city podcast, anything you want to say about that, Dave?
No, we did the recording with Tate for hers today, and I'm looking forward to this, one of the former mayor here. We're gonna record that one next week.
Okay,
With, you did it with tape rehearse.
What?
You did it with who?
Uh,
The
Our
receptionist.
receptionist,
Oh, Kate.
we're doing one on the most frequently asked things at the
Oh,
reception.
okay. Oh,
So people don't have to, maybe,
yeah.
if they listen to the
serious.
podcast, you don't need to go to the reception desk and we've got all the answers.
Oh, yeah, okay, very good.
so briefly, last night, I felt that the three things we want to do was give them a sense of our staffing and the election of new officers this year, to talk with them about the projects that we are involved in, and as gently as I could, get their attention to the fact that we think we're being underutilized.
Mhm.
I love the way you brought that up. You brought it up
did.
more than once and it was
Just did a
awesome.
great job.
I
And
mean,
then later,
I think,
they brought us up.
yeah, absolutely. I think you got the message. I think they got the message. I hope they got the message.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too.
I have more to say on that under the moment too.
All right. And then we presented our ideas for revising the ordinance to eliminate the geographic restrictions and the 2-year or the 2-term limitation. That was received well. The only fly in that ointment, perhaps, is Annie Kurtz's desire that it be considered in conjunction with the requirements for all of the other boards and commissions, so that they're uniform.
And I like that idea,
Well,
getting them all.
Like it if they do.
after the meeting, we talked to
Nancy Hill.
Nancy Hill and
Tom Sullivan,
Tom,
yeah.
Tom Salzberg
Good point.
about, maybe they just take a review of all the commissions and make sure that there's some continuity between it if they want to do a workshop and look at that.
I agree.
But I think they received well the idea that those limitations, while well-intentioned, don't add value.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, okay.
Can I ask a question on what the difference between, when you have a city hall meeting or a workshop, what happens differently in those?
Workshops are usually within the city council meeting. It's part of their agenda.
Oh, okay.
And they'll have, like last night, they had 2 workshops. One was on transportation and the other one was on the city logo. And they just have open discussion
Oh, okay.
about, yeah,
Okay.
And
so-
generally, there's an information providing element
right.
to that.
It's
Okay.
usually a longer, more in-depth conversation.
Yeah,
Right.
and they
okay, got,
spend
and that, they
20
call that a
minutes
workshop, okay?
Yeah.
Longer
It's
on
not,
one subject.
yeah, yeah. Well,
But
I
then they-
listened to the, David sent out the thing on the
Logo.
logo, and I listened to that.
That's considered a workshop.
Workshop, okay.
But if there is an issue, a workshop that is gonna take some time,
Yeah.
they'll do it on
They
an
might have to
off
do a
off
separate
day.
day.
Yeah,
Mhm,
on a
okay.
special day.
Okay,
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
so, Mark, could we have updates on the sidewalk master plan?
Yes, I got handouts. Here, Robin, here you are. Leah, you hand that out?
They're so organized. I didn't bring anything like this for mine.
Well,
Yeah, but you can
I
prepare.
sent out an email.
Well, that one time I've been to 2 more meetings, but not a lot.
Let me bring something up here real quick. Oop, I don't want that one. I want this right here. Okay. Our meeting was about 3 weeks ago. This is kind of a recap of what we're looking at, what the meeting basically told, was the information that was given to us was, the criteria. And the first part of this is showing what criteria, what issues we have out there. The second part is how we're going to pay for it. Okay. And so if you look at the sidewalk repair criteria, there was 3 ratings. The safety criteria, which is a degree of the sidewalk distress, concentration of the sidewalk distress points, ADA ramps, present and absence, pedestrian injury in vicinity, and then speed limits. The second one was equity criteria. That was high presence of children or seniors, proximity of manufactured homes. And I asked the question, why manufactured homes? Kids. A lot of families live in manufactured homes, which are known as trailer parks. And so do seniors, kids and seniors. Yep.
Affordable housing.
Yep,
Do
and
we
affordable
have-
housing.
We have them in Liberty Lake?
No, well, we do
do,
over
yeah.
in River District.
Yeah.
Yes, we
River
do.
District,
Yep,
okay.
the River District does.
Oh, I didn't know. that.
And then proximity of senior housing. And then the last one was a proximity of criteria of high pedestrian traffic. The proximities include school zones, bus stops, public services, parks and or trails, and activity centers and mixed-use districts. They also had maps that a company by the name of City Logistics in conjunction with SJ Alliance, they went out and they actually mapped the whole city to find out where the issues were and like locations of types of distress. They also looked for concentration of density of distressed areas, where all the ADA ramps are now and where we can place them in the future. Pedestrian injuries, they got that from the fire district and the police force.
Wow.
You know, where there was injuries, because they're looking at safety here, it was the key thing. Speed limits, you know, what the speed limits are throughout the city. Proximity of senior housing, guardian angel. Proximity of the city parks, they had a map out for that. Proximity of mixed-use zones. The sidewalk gaps, and then, of course, the bike lanes and the trails and the multi paths. And then they also had a score sheet, and it's all on this was all on the PowerPoint, but I didn't want to bore you with it.
Yeah,
The score sheets were basically the safety criteria, the proximity criteria, and the equity criteria. Then, after we're done with going all over that, how do you fund and approach the funding for repairing these? Well, there's 3 approaches of funding. The first one is the property owners. And right now, if I'm not mistaken, let me give you a little history. I'm going to step back real quick here. 10 years ago, I took it upon myself to drive around in my golf cart, the city. I took pictures of not every bad area, but all the real bad areas of sidewalks. I came to the city council and I made a total presentation to the city council. At that time, Steve Peterson was the mayor of Liberty Lake. There was one real bad sidewalk panel over on Mission, over by the Pentagon. And that's where, you know, heavy traffic, you know, foot traffic.
mhm.
And Steve promised me he'd fix it. He'd get it fixed. I said, okay. Well, he gave a deadline, 4 weeks. Well, 4th week rolled around and still wasn't fixed. So one afternoon, Steve and Charmaine went out and dug it up and then put concrete in. And the city had to go back and redo it. Katie Allen was so pissed off at me because I got it fixed. I didn't care how I got it fixed.
Yeah.
But it was a big joke. That was the big joke. But you know, 10 years ago, I was looking at this, and when I saw this come up, I got excited. That's why I jumped on getting onto this committee, because this is something that I talked about 10 years ago. And so right now, it is the RCW 3568 allows the city to place the burden of repairing and replacing damaged sidewalks to the owner, the property owner.
Which is what
Right.
we currently
Which
do.
we currently do now, yes. The pros of the city of that one being handled as it does, scheduling flexibility for the property owner, they can schedule it whenever they feel. May hire a preferred contractor, and then they could also combine it with jobs within their house or their home. The cons, the city, the current city code has no mechanism of enforcing the repair of the sidewalks. But they did come out with a list of trees that you can replace. I'll be right up front with you. I did my front yard already. I spent $3,000 and got it done. And I replaced the tree because my sidewalk was starting to do this.
Yeah.
And I had it ground, they grinded it 3 times and it looks fine now. But I had to put the border up, I had the border installed. When they took the tree out, I had to replace all the grass because when they dig out the roots, the roots are really, they go like this. So, it was a real mess.
Are
But,
there some trees that are better than others for not lifting sidewalks?
yeah, mine were lifting. Yeah, ours on Malvern are lifting. It is, you ought to see some of the, it's a mountain.
They're also recommending that trees be planted with, I forget the term, but it's they send down borders deep in the ground
Oh,
to contain the roots.
Yep, that's what I did. Yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly, yeah. It was, I don't know, about that big around, yeah.
And it's-
Did around, yep. But the trees that supposedly, the trees that the city has approved today, the root systems go straight down. So I hope so. I'll let you know in about 20 years if I'm still here. The sidewalk repairs can be costly to the homeowner. These are the cons still. May be difficult in finding a contractor willing to do a small job like this. I did have difficulty finding someone, hey, who can do this? Thank God my son had a friend that came out and did it. Maybe to address the tree roots and or replace trees. And of course, that's what we had to do. The other one that comes up is partnership. Partnership, there's three potential partnerships within this. 50-50 cost, which the city and the property owner complete the portion of the repairs. City-led, the city repairs the sidewalk, bills the property owner at a reduced cost. And then there's a rebate program. City provides a rebate after the property owner repairs the sidewalls, and then it's billed back. The pros of doing this: reduces the direct cost of the property owner and reduces the burden of the property owner. The cons: city staff would need to develop, implement, and track the program. May involve billing and attempting to collect funds from the property owner. And then the worst one is, may have to put a lien to write off unpaid bills. So that's kind of the disadvantage. Now I have 3 cities here that each one uses each one of these 3 criterias. The first one is Mount Vernon, which uses the cost share. The property owner obtains a permit, removes the damaged panels, and installs the crushed gravel surface. The city then provides the labor and hires a third party to install the concrete slabs. The property owner pays for the cost of the materials only. That's the 50-50, and that's it. And then the next one is a city-led, and this is how Cedro Woolley does it. Property owner obtains a no-cost permit, signs a contract with the city for the repairs. The city removes the damaged panels at no cost, hires a third-party contractor, installs the new sidewalk panels. The city sends an invoice to the property owner. The installation of the new panels are due in 30 days. Then the last one is the rebate program, which Richland is doing today. Developed a rebate program. Property owners complete the sidewalk repairs in compliance with the city standards and permit requirements. The city provides a 25% rebate at the cost after the property owner submits receipts. So that's one of the things. Now, the next one that comes up is the city, and this is where the city handles everything. The city repairs the sidewalks in-house or hires an outside contractor to make the repairs. This is the second one. Pros of this offers economic of scale, maybe a timelier way to address the most sufficient sidewalk panels. City could prioritize areas based on the scope of the damage or routes to schools and spread it over several years. Now, here's the cons, and I think we'll all agree with this. City staff would need to develop and implement a track program. City may require more staff if the work is done in-house, which makes sense. Hiring an outside contractor is required by an RFB. May involve billing or attempting to collect the funds and back again to, possibly putting a lien against the house if it's unpaid bills. Then the last one, I'll get here. I think that's it. Is it? Yep, that's it. So those are all the ones for the costs. Just to let you know our next steps, we're gonna finalize the sidewalk repair. I talked to Amy today. We got 2 more meetings before we'll take this to city council. So, but our next steps are finalizing the sidewalk repairs, score sheets and the maps, narrow down the potential avenues of the sidewalk repairs, fundings and mechanisms. And this is where we come into it. Prepare public engagement materials coordinated with the CEC. I will let you know further. I should know more about that on Monday, which is our next meeting. And then develop a draft strategy solutions to implement approach for the sidewalk repairs.
A question that
Yeah.
came to me as in this part. So prepare public engagement materials and coordinate with the CEC. Okay, we like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't that presuppose that, wouldn't that occur prior to or as an avenue for achieving the thing that's before? Narrowing down potential avenues for sidewalk repairs and funding mechanisms? I mean, isn't that what?
That's a question I'm gonna have to ask of Amy on Monday, because I still personally, I've attended one meeting.
Yeah,
But it was a very important meeting, as you can see. I personally don't see where we're gonna fall into anything with this. But after talking to Amy today, she said, yes, the CEC is going, but she was in a hurry going to a meeting.
let's just make sure that, I mean, we want to. Let's
So
make,
you want to get it in the feedback phase on what the community would like to see, whether property owners still maintain it, whether it's a partnership with the city, or whether the city does it?
That's
Well,
kind of the way,
that's-
Leah, that's kind of what I was thinking. They're probably gonna be asking the 3.
I think we just don't want to find ourselves in a position of trying to sell a solution.
Oh, no.
So-
They wouldn't do that. No.
I think
no.
the city needs to be prepared to tell people where the funds are coming from if the city takes any responsibility. for
And
it,
I
'cause
think
that's
they
gonna
will
the
be
number
doing
one
that.
question.
Yep,
Yeah,
of course.
Do we
Of
have,
course.
or is anybody not put pencil to and try to figure out any numbers with these? different
They're still working
Still
on
working
that.
on that,
Yeah.
and part of
so
it,
this survey that they did, is this one of the LiDAR things where they go around with on the street and
Yep.
But
LiDAR, I guess?
one of the things, and this is a variable, the assumption is that if the property owners individually are doing this work, it's going to cost more per event
Absolutely,
than if it's managed by the city and we can do swaths
absolutely.
of sidewalk or multiple projects.
That
Well,
was
it's the,
mentioned- that
it's
was
the
mentioned.
economies of scale,
And
Exactly.
you
is
also
what they're
make sure
looking
that
at.
it's done
Right,
But on,
here.
before we go out with this public engagement, I think we need to have, those variables and details outlined, because somewhere in there,
We'll have direction,
you'll need a public engagement plan for this.
Robin. We will have direction
From, is it
from,
Amy?
from the group, from the,
Okay,
yep.
because,
No, they ain't gonna just throw it out there and say, okay, you guys just go out and do it. No, we're gonna have pretty stringent, instruction on how it's
Okay.
gonna be handled.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, very good.
Leah,
Leo,
Okay, capital facilities plan work group. Okay. So the city has 2 different capital facilities planning cycles. So each year they adopt a new 6-year capital facilities plan, which is the current year and looking forward another 5 years. And they update this each year with projected projects. The work group that I'm working on is more of like a 20-year wish list and kind of prioritization of projects and planning ahead for future capital expenditures. So the biggest expense that the city faces is roads. The city has 55 miles of roads, and they did the street survey with the, machine that takes the pictures and grades it, and they give it a score of 0 to 100. Lowest scoring section of road was Sprague Avenue, which scored in the 30s. Something that's brand new would be 100. The things that they take into consideration are is it an arterial, a major arterial, minor arterial, feeder streets, or just like residential. So obviously the more heavy use, the more important it is to keep that maintained. The other thing that we need to that they're considering in their planning is, are there some roads that it makes more sense to move them up in the queue where we could do like a grind and resurface? Because if we leave it too long, then the road will deteriorate too much and it'll be a full replacement, like Sprague, full replacement. At this point, it's already crappy and there's nothing to maintain. They're gonna have to completely redo it. So it's scheduled like 4 or 5 years out. But there's, they want to finish the Appleway project. They did a section of it. Country Vista, they're on basically from Liberty Lake Road like to the high school. There's going to be some changes proposed there to make it more walker and biker friendly, and resurface it and get rid of some of the bumps, things like that. So we kind of went.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
Go ahead.
are they gonna be able to add lanes? Cause that's gonna be very, very, very busy. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure what the exact plan is, but that's on their radar as one to do sooner rather than later,
Right.
so that it's a less expensive project. Because we do with our transportation master plan, we need to make it a little bit more friendly for bicycles and golf carts
Right.
and whatever. So that's in there. So they kind of like Ben Turner kind of like goes through and kind of ranks that and kind of give feedback on that. Really what our role from the different commissions is to see if there's any like glaring omissions or if something just looks completely asinine and give her feedback on that. But this people at the city really know their stuff and they've really thought this through. So let's see. So streets was our first meeting. The last meeting we went over, it was parks and where am I blanking? Oh, capital, like facilities. So it's talking about things like, do we spend the money to do some upgrades on the library building if we don't really know what the future is? And do things like go in and put in like floor outlets to make it more computer friendly and do some things like that. What upgrades are going to be needed to be done, like when they move the police department. So they have all those kind of like planned out on this spreadsheet. All that, we didn't really have a lot of feedback on, that looks terrible, but they're planning in things like every 20 years or something, you need to replace the HVAC or the carpet or repaint, and all those things are kind of like projected out. The big question is like, where does the city get money for this? And there's some of the things in the city that are self-sustaining, like the golf courses are pretty much self-sustaining. I don't know, Mark was there and Bill was there, but last night Kyle gave a presentation at city council that kind of went through the state of finances at the city, and it was so helpful to look at. Like I feel like I'm like going into the capital facilities planning meeting this week, I'm gonna feel so much more like in the know of how those things work. So like police vehicles and maintenance vehicles, landscaping type stuff for the city, all those, everything has like a lifespan. And so we need to plan for replacement, repairs, things like that. So.
One thing they mentioned that Ben did mention, really, I'm not Ben, Kyle mentioned last night was the profits of the golf course. You know, we are the only golf course in the county or even in the city that's making a profit.
Yeah.
There isn't a golf course, the two golf courses down the road here, they run a loss every year.
Really?
Ours is the only one, yep.
Who owns, so?
We own
New guy-
Trailhead.
New guy, I know we own Trailhead. Who owns the other two?
County owns-
County, they're
County.
county courses, yep.
Yeah,
Oh, county, both, okay.
They're both county courses. The three county courses is these two and Hangman or Latah. It's
Yeah.
Latah now. It used to be Hangman.
Yeah,
Those are the three county. The three city is Downriver, Esmeralda,
they must be down,
and Qualchen. Those
Yeah.
are the three cities.
they're down in Spokane.
And then all the others out there are privately owned.
Yeah.
Wandamere and those. I didn't mean Joe, sorry.
oh, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
So then I believe this week we're gonna be discussing, more of like the, like equipment expenditures. So one of the things we brought up when we were talking about the parks is, some of the feedback from the community engagement for things that people wanted to see in the parks. So that's, you know, like they just did that new survey that took some of that data
Yeah.
that David sent us all about. last
11
week.
item points one.
Yeah, spend your
Good
points
point,
on it.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's looking at upgrading the equipment at Pavilion Park for the play equipment.
Mm.
Maybe adding some shade trees to Orchard Park. Maybe adding electrical to the pavilion shade structures there. And then potentially adding, you know, like shade over other play equipment. So things like that, that the city's looking to enhance the facilities for our future growth. All of the numbers that we're working with are today's dollars. They don't project them out. So when we're looking at it and it says, you know, we're planning to spend, you know, between $1 and $3 million a year on the road, that's today's dollars. In 20 years, that's a very different number if you're familiar with inflation. The other thing to keep in mind is that we're trying to be thoughtful in prioritizing things and planning for future growth, because at the current growth of the city, they anticipate that all the basically vacant land and housing projects will be built out within the next 15 years, and our population will increase by at least 50%. So right now we're about 14,000 and they're projecting 20 to 25,000 in 15 years, which that's huge growth. And so like right now, for example, the library has about 2 books per capita. If we don't expand our library facilities, we're going to have, you know, 1 book per capita. We're not going to, right now, story time, the kids that go into story time, they're over the, you know, the fire department safe capacity limit. Because, you know, they might squeeze 50 kids in that little room. So, one of the things we talked about was like whether we wanted to prioritize a city pool, feasibility study and spend the money on that. Wasn't terribly popular, but I mean, once again, if people take those surveys and they really want that, you know, they'll take that into consideration if they take that survey and allocate their points to it. Yeah, so we've got a meeting this Thursday, next Thursday, then the last meeting's on the 5th, which I will not be available for that one. But I was talking to Bill about it last night. I don't know that this is something that somebody else could step into, and really it's just kind of final. Yeah, it's just finalizing things. So I think I'll just do what I can, and I've already let them know that I won't be in attendance for that one.
Which one is that?
The very last meeting on the 5th.
Okay.
So,
I can send you notes or something.
okay. I think that's, we're just gonna finalize that. Did I miss anything, David? You've been to all these
You're
meetings.
being very thorough. You're as good as Bill was at the microphone last night.
Extraneously speaking.
I have, this is just a piddling question, and it hails back to the observation that Sprague Avenue is the worst city.
And
The
Moulter,
worst, huh?
and Moulter's pretty bad.
The only stretch of Sprague really is between Liberty Lake Road and the mountain. Isn't that right, down by the golf course? Because the Sprague,
No,
west of that.
all of it is city. And so part of that project and why it's gonna be so big is that it needs to maintain the integrity of the road, they need to add drainage. So where all
And-
those trees are, they're planning on digging that out and putting a swale next to it. And then they would plant trees down in the swale. But
I
it-
just wanted to make sure that that was. the
yeah, it
stretch
goes
we
all
were
the way
talking about.
out, oh, no, all the way from Liberty Lake Road, all the way to Nyland.
Island, that's right.
Yeah.
And it is in the city, that road is.
Mhm.
Okay,
city.
see, I thought
That's the city
it was the
limit.
boundaries.
Yeah, it's the city limit, but
Okay.
it's the,
When the
Um,
cutting was going down, we had city staff there at both ends of the road flagging traffic because that is, the street itself is city hall.
Okay,
Hmm.
that was.
That's the
thank you.
border right there.
Okay,
yeah,
Okay,
but once it goes to Nyland, then it's county.
Is, as I remember, we're doing something on Mission Avenue this year, is that right?
So Mission, they did more accessibility work. They did some repaving. They added four-way
It's
stop.
happening this year.
Right.
Are
The
they
overlay.
sending Kramer beyond to Indiana?
Yeah, they're extending that roundabout and that road into
what-
there because they. Greenstone. is-
I don't have the transportation. There, it's on the website. They have,
Or
it-
South Mission.
yeah, so Kramer, so some of the upcoming projects that are higher priority is adding some sort of traffic control at Harvard and Wellington. And right now they're planning for a
Stop.
traffic signal. We talked about a roundabout. It's like double the cost. It would slow people down, drivers down, but also would be a little bit less pedestrian friendly for people crossing there to go to the Centennial Trail. They could go up to Indiana. We're just concerned about pedestrian safety there. So that we talked through the roundabout thing and then kind of went back to the signal. There was another signal that they're potentially talking about adding at Signal and Mission. And-
Really?
Yeah, because that one's low priority though, because people cut
Okay.
through there like on their commute and sometimes they end up waiting there a while. So like if I'm going out of town from my office, I'll take, Mission down and take a right on Signal and left onto
Right.
Appleway.
Right.
But it's people coming back in that commute,
Obviously.
you can kind of get stuck there a little bit. But that one was a low priority. Yeah, so finishing up they did stuff with the sidewalk accessibility on Mission last year, but I think they're gonna actually repave it this year,
Makes sense.
which they had planned to last year.
Oh, okay.
And they talked about,
There's some ugliness on Mission, yes.
did you guys see the tree that got hit or knocked over? Yeah,
Mhm.
and nobody said anything about that tree.
Well, are they gonna complete the, they're planning on completing the sidewalk that barren
I
field?
believe so.
Yeah, where there's no sidewalk. It's
Yeah.
Sidewalk, then it's stop, then there's sidewalk again.
I believe that's part of the repaving plan, because they
Has
were
to be.
gonna add like some of those maybe flashy crossings there
Mhm.
at some point. I went to a committee meeting or like a public meeting about the Mission replacement because it affects me at work. Last year, and they were talking about, repaving.
Oh, yeah, I was there too, and yeah, they they ran out, they had an issue with asphalt, I guess.
Yeah,
So they had to put.
there was the asphalt worker strike.
And yeah.
And then they're kind of put off some projects because of just, that and budgeting and trying to get some transportation grants.
So are they gonna try to kickstart that back in?
I
again?
believe that they're planning on doing it this year.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
And then there was something with Kramer that's coming up.
Mhm, that's the extension.
Yeah.
okay.
How about, okay, I got a question for you, one more. How about, the street that they're gonna punch out over behind the,
The hub?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's done by the developer. So basically the developer puts in roads, but then once they're in, it's the city's job to maintain it. So like any of these new developments and stuff that go in, the developer creates and has to do it within the, parameters of the city. But then future maintenance becomes on the onus of the city. So a long time ago, not that many roads, but with all the developments and stuff, we're at over 55 miles. So that they called that one the something depot. what were they calling it?
You got me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but,
Right now, you gotta drive out of the city to get back into the city
mhm.
to go to the hub.
Yes, that is gonna
Yeah.
punch through there. But that's on the developer.
Okay.
And
that
it's, there's,
Developer is it Greenstone? Or someone else?
I think that's the name I heard.
Is it Greenstone?
probably,
think
Joe
that-
Frank
I
or
think
Jim
that's- I
Frank?
think that's what was brought up.
Okay.
okay, yeah. So it's on the
It'll-
developer
it'll get
to
done.
put that stuff in.
Good.
So that was kind of what we've gone over. Meetings, first meeting was like an hour and a half. They've been trying to keep them to an hour. I think this next one might end up being a little bit longer. But they're doing a really good job. I mean, Mark McAvoy is trying not to like influence our opinions and stuff too much. I mean, they talked about like, is there anything missing with the parks? And I was like, I don't know, people complain a lot about the e-bikes. What if we had like, you know, a dirt bike track or whatever? But then they're like, is it the city's responsibility to provide that? And I was like, I don't know. You just said, are we missing anything in the city? And that's.
Well, they just have an RV park just down the road here at, on Liberty Lake. That's
Right here in the county. There's an RV park. I mean,
Oh,
ATV park.
ATV park.
In the
yes.
county?
Mhm.
At
Yeah.
the, at the,
Other
Over by the
way.
park.
okay,
Yep.
but not in the city, cause
No,
like,
not in the city.
we were talking about right there at the end of the park. There's an
Which park?
HOA swale at Pavilion Park. There's an HOA swale that abuts it, and the city put in Jersey barriers to keep kids from jumping their dirt bikes in there.
Oh,
into the
yeah,
park.
yeah.
And my neighborhood is struggling with that on our HOA private property, kids have been jumping dirt bikes over our swale, and we ended up putting up like a chain between the handrails to prevent that.
HOA, River District, and yes, they are doing.
It's a problem. So,
E-bikes.
we're talking about upcoming town hall on e-bike, scooter and golf carts. I think that would be,
I talked to chief and deputy chief last night about that.
Yeah.
They're waiting there is a thing on,
there's something
from
coming
Olympia.
through in the legislature
yeah,
on it.
and they're
Yeah.
waiting for that to come through and then they're gonna be making some changes. So
Okay,
they're waiting for
perfect.
that. Yep.
Anyway, so I think that's a full update of what I've been
Very
doing at
good.
Capitol Facilities.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Lots-
I don't bring bulleted notes like Mark.
No, you're fine. That was
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
And I appreciate you both keeping your eyes sort of on the opportunities that may surface for us to, as a commission, be involved and advise. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is the updates on community satisfaction survey and parks and capital improvement.
Yes, I'll try to speed through this the best I can because I do know Mark and I both have a Gonzaga game at 8 o'clock tonight.
Yes.
Oh, heavens will be.
And
divided.
and we have a very big item coming up here between E and F tonight. So community satisfaction survey for 2026, third annual one will be wrapping up a week from Friday. Again, with you folks being the force multipliers on this, the Community Engagement Commission, help with the community engagement on this. If you haven't done the survey in your own household, please do. And I would put out I don't know if I want to call it a challenge or a goal or see if you can do this kind of a thing, but in the next, 9 days, contact 9 people you know who live in the area, maybe in your own neighborhood, homeowners association, coworkers. Contact 10 and see if you can get 10 more people to fill out their survey who haven't done it yet. If you contact people who maybe have lost their survey or thrown it away, encourage them to call City Hall. We can reconnect them with their information. We put out a couple of posts on internet. And we're going to be doing it one more time, letting people know if you've lost your survey, if you threw it away, if you want to be a part of this,
Mhm.
contact City Hall. We've had a grand total of 1 person do that, so I'm thankful
Jesus.
that 1 person did that. We've
How
had
many
a
have
couple
been
people,
completed?
yeah.
How many?
400.
Getting to that in just a
Okay.
second. And I've seen like 3 people on Facebook say, well, I didn't get my survey. And at least one of them, I've contacted everyone and one of them responded and found it, oh, I don't live in city limits. So that tends to be the result of those situations when people say, well, they never sent me anything. Well, you're not part of the survey pool. Okay, the numbers, I checked this shortly before 5 o'clock. We have 385 people, households have at least started the survey. 364 of those people have completed it. It looks like there's about 20 people who've probably maybe have been using a public computer, could be the library. So we're getting possibly some people going to the library to do this. About 82% of the people who started the survey have completed it. And so comparing those numbers, let's say it's 364 complete right now. Comparing the numbers to year one and year two, year one, we had 171 people complete it. We had a survey pool of about 1/3 of the community who got those cards that year. Last year, we had ultimately about 2/3 of the community got postcards. Completion numbers on that was 226. And so while you could say the response rate to the cards is maybe lower than it was last year, really what matters is how many households are responding to this. And I've asked Mark McAvoy, how many households did we send out cards to? It's a little over 5,000. It's like 5,0 something households. So that comes out to about, we're looking at getting close to, what's the math on this? Around 7% of the households have responded to this. In a survey, I like those numbers. I would like to see them higher. My goal is to maybe see what can we do with getting to 500. That'll be a stretch, but we're still doing some more promotions. If you're on Facebook with us, you see me pushing this a couple times a week. And we've, I wanted to share some numbers with you on the video pitches we've been doing this year. First couple of years, we only did, I think, one video promotion. I think that was Mark McAvoy. And then we may have done two. We may have also had the mayor on that one. And then the mayor did one again last year. This year, I wanted to change it up. So a couple of you participated, and well, Brittany's not here.
So you did me last year.
Yeah, oh, that's right. Mark did one too,
kitchen.
in the kitchen. So it looked like he was at home.
Yeah.
So we had at least 2 videos last year. And my goal this year has been to have, maybe for the most part, do 2 videos a week. And then as we get towards the end, do the reminder cards of, hey, contact us if you haven't got your survey, if you need to get a new card, and mix that in with a new video push this each week. So far we've had 6 video promotions appear. 2 more are coming as we wrap things up. And I just wanted to share these numbers. On the first really short, very much an introductory video we did with 2 of the police officers, including the police chief when we started these. That one has had about 5,900 views. And guess what the second most viewed video pitch has been?
A moose.
No, I'm not calling you that, Bill. It was you.
We need to get the AI video or something of the
Have the
moose telling people to do it.
Let's think about that. So the one Bill and Brittany did, about 2,100 views on that one. And kind of nicer, the third most viewed one is the one Summer did, former member of this group. So we got 2 more coming up.
I saw Linda Ball.
Linda Ball was last night, and I do notice there's been a little bit of a bump every night we've done a video pitch. I'm not talking like 20 new people, but sometimes if we've been down to like 2 submissions a day, I say, oh, we've got up to 4 or 5 after a video. We've not had a day yet. This thing went up with the survey, I think around January 15th. We have not had a day yet where nobody responded. We've had 2 days where 1 responded, but somebody or somebodies are responding every day to this. I want to keep that going till we get to the end, cross my fingers. Videos left to come. Annie Kurtz is going to be doing one probably coming up on Friday. And then doing a little bit of a different one with Ty over at the golf course. I really wanted to push, here's the prize that you can win. So we're doing a multi-shot demonstration of here's what you can win if you're one of the 5 people who fill out this survey and get your name drawn to win the 1-hour free session at the golf and other games simulators. And Ty said he was really nervous in filming this, but I don't know why. He's a very personable guy. We had to do a lot of retakes with him because he was just so nervous to get it perfect. It's going to be I think it's going to be a fun video at the end. And then on the, any questions on that one? Again, I want to put it out to you. Reach out to your contacts, your friends, your coworkers the last 9 days here. And, if each of you right now the room could hit 10 people. We got another 50 people, doing the survey.
Could I ask a question?
Yeah.
Last year, we were able to review the survey before it went out to the public.
Mhm.
Why weren't we able to do that this year?
I can ask that to the city administrator, but really it was pretty much the same survey. I think
Still, it's changed. It's a small, it's a shorter
Mhm.
survey than it was last year. So there has been some changes to it. My question is, if we're so responsible for it, we don't even get to see it before it goes out? I mean, that's not right. And who paid for the mailing? Us?
Well, the
No.
city ultimately.
No,
We
did
haven't
it come
had-
out, did it come out of our budget?
No,
It didn't?
no.
Okay, I want to make sure it didn't, because if it did, I have an issue with that, because we have no input. And the only thing that we have no, hear me out. The only thing that we have going on with this is that they're asking us to go out and help get people to respond. That's all we've been asked to do about this. We had no input at the beginning. And, I'm just a little bummed that we haven't been part of this again.
Okay,
That's my 2 cents worth.
Can I ask a question? So in terms of the prize for getting the golfing thing, that's a great thing to do. But is there one of the nonprofits around town that could actually make it a dollar prize? I mean, could we get $1,000 and from one of the nonprofits to?
If we get a
That has
donation,
to go through
yeah.
a
why
donation.
would they want to?
That has to go through an approved donation and yeah.
Yeah. And
It
the
gets
city- The
sticky.
city can't do anything with a cash value like that.
Right.
It's considered gifting of public funds.
Well, I know,
I
the
know.
city can't.
But it even gets tricky with if the money comes from somewhere else, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, why would they?
Well,
would you
because
Most
they're,
nonprofits do something kind of further their mission.
oh,
So if
absolutely.
community satisfaction surveys are their mission, maybe they would, but
Yeah, right.
It-
Well,
It's at least worth bringing up for year 4.
yeah.
yeah.
I think businesses can do it better than nonprofits
Oh, well,
because nonprofits, I just know a little bit on this. You need to make sure that you're following your mission and goals. And just to say for
well,
the city and give them $1,000. I mean, the
isn't there
nonprofit.
a nonprofit that for supporting the city? I mean, it's Liberty Lake something or other.
Better Together.
Better Together.
That's not a nonprofit. That's not even, that's just an organization. Yeah.
That's a coalition.
Yeah, it's
not
not,
a
it's,
nonprofit.
yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
there's no money exchanged there.
One example, I think this was the Kiwanis Club some years, this predates me.
Yeah.
They donated little flags, city flags for the city to distribute. That's
Mhm,
sort of along the same lines I think you're talking about.
mhm.
But it's an interesting idea.
But it had to go
Looking at.
through it had to go through an approval.
Do we have any
And,
billionaires in the community?
don't know, Bill, you live up on that ridge.
That's a place.
I have an attention span
Okay,
issue,
very good.
and I'm not
Okay.
sure we can exhaust all of this.
Yeah.
Anything from the parks capital improvement?
I don't have much on that. I thought I would be able to share numbers, but the numbers I saw are not the numbers I thought they were, and I don't know what they mean. I know this one is going to be wrapping up on the 23rd on Monday. And again, I would put it out to you, do what you can to,
Mhm.
the first 2 words of your name is community engagement
Well,
commission.
And this is another one, I was interesting to me that when we had this little sidebar with Nancy, Leah and I last night, and she was effusive about wanting to engage the Community Engagement Commission. And it was obvious that it never occurred to her that perhaps an opportunity to do that would have preceded the decision to engage a consulting firm. So to Mark's point earlier, I don't think there's anything to be gained by making an issue of that particular thing, but moving forward, whatever we can do to impress or demonstrate that we're bringing value to a conversation is worthy of us. So maybe we can just,
I have an opportunity to follow up on that with.
yeah,
The SCJ contract is going to be ending soon. Their work is pretty much wrapped up with this current survey and then the data analysis on that. And this is a survey, their work has been involving all the parks programs, all the recreation programs as a whole. Big, huge scale future vision of what those programs and services could be. After they wrapped up, Jen Camp, in charge of our Parks Department, wants to continue some discussions, continue some studies about Pavilion Park Playground specifically, just that one part of it. And I think she and Nancy want to come to the next meeting, talk about what this group can do to help push out and promote some of the community engagement with what's happening next with park playground equipment at Pavilion. So
I wonder if we need a refresher. We have new members. And it could be brief, just about the scope of the Zen City investment that we make as a city. And how to use that, how do we access that tool for our purposes?
Well, I have a question then. I have a comment
Please.
on for Zen City. So they just approved, right?
Yeah.
13 grand. And I'm
13
saying,
grand.
and I'm saying, looking at this saying, why would we hire, because we paid SCJ to do all of this public engagement. So we double paid for public engagement. So someone has to come to grips and say, you either get rid of Zen City and pay the consultants, or you get rid of the consultants and do Zen City. Now, consultants are fine for just certain things, but when they take over a whole,
Well, we're.
yeah, as big as the community engagement,
Yeah.
and we're just like, I mean, the biggest problem and the concern that I've had, I guess is because of all, of my experience is we get into these projects and we don't have, and I'll probably talk about this when we get to this, a good public engagement or participation plan. So we know the roles, we know the talking points, we know what we want to do. We know the alternatives, what are the best alternatives. And that's what we're missing. And that's where you can plug your ears if you want, David. When you tell me and give me an email and say, just go out there and go talk to 9 people. No, I'm just not that type of person. I like to have the talking points. I like to have the better.
Yeah, this last survey, it was 11 points. Okay, what were the 11 points?
I mean, so we are all on the same page here.
Mhm.
So,
We all
okay,
agree.
good. So we're all on the same page, and this is what we need to get out.
And we have, I will say that we are getting traction with Mark and Logan's involvement and with Leah's involvement. We want to expand that.
And we
I think
should.
they're getting out, because they're there, they have the opportunity to get out ahead of the opportunities that may exist for the Community Engagement Commission, and that's the point. I think we can move on to these other things for the same purpose. So we want to talk about the 4th of July and our
Mhm.
our
Okay.
anniversary. And then we've got the logo, and I don't know if I'll start drooling at 8 o'clock.
I think the logo thing can go pretty quickly based on what the what was
Did-
the
did we
church
all
here?
watch
The
the
marching,
city
or the
council?
term
Yeah.
marching
After.
orders said.
I spoke
That
at
was
given
helpful.
after.
All right, so 4th of July. Andrew,
Yeah,
fireworks?
let's move on to
Yeah,
that.
let's go.
So 4th of July, are you gonna lead us?
Well,
on-
somebody requested it for the agenda. I don't know what you want to
I
talk
don't
about
know.
though.
Because it really isn't much.
Well-
Nothing's really changed. We're still gonna celebrate it on the 4th of July.
But it's gonna be
But it's
bigger.
gonna be. a
Right,
big deal.
I think there needs to be messaging to the community though,
Well,
that it's
that's-
replacing
David's gonna.
Barefoot in the Park this year,
Did
because
you-
I found out about it
David?
here
It's
last
in
month.
Splash right
It was
now.
in the splash, right?
Okay,
Yep,
Yeah. So
I haven't-
we've already.
it's on my
sent the
table, haven't
t-shirt.
read it yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
they put a picture of fireworks with it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yep.
Okay.
So that's the first, and then we're gonna come out with a big splash come May and follow up, and then, but it's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a
Okay.
Big deal.
So we want to stay out ahead of that. Are you involved with that, Mark? Of course.
I'm
we
on the
will.
committee, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like Rotary and Kiwanis is also involved
Yeah.
in that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you can help us again.
I'm not the person going, but I've been getting updates about it at Rotary.
Okay,
Yeah, Rich
Maher.
Maher is on with the Rotary and Tim Olson's with the Kiwanis.
okay,
And I'm just in the wings helping whenever I can.
okay. So can we go ahead and move
Let's
on to
talk
the
logo.
logo thing?
Yep.
And let me just say that I experienced some of that when I looked online and tried to develop an image that was clean enough for me to see what they were talking about.
No. Mhm.
So thank you for this.
Yeah, I can introduce some stuff on the concepts on this and the history on this if
Okay,
you want me to,
and,
Bill.
and I appreciated the subtle message of the other accompanying pages
If we-
about the development of logos over the years.
Yeah, I had some things I wanted to.
No.
Point out
Are
the
people gonna go Cracker Barrel on us if we change it?
That's cute, but just to let you all know, the consensus of the count, and correct me if I'm wrong, David. The consensus of the council last night was just a refresh.
They want to update it, they don't want to completely redo it. But I mean, if
They-
you look
they
at,
wanna- They wanna kind of modernize it, if you will.
right, but you look at, Colonel Sanders here, they've modernized it.
So I put those out to introduce you to some concepts here. As I was telling Robin earlier, I don't live in Liberty Lake. I don't want to comment on the current logo because that should be done by city residents. But I am here to offer guidance, counsel, because I have designed logos. This is part of my background. This is not boasting because it's not really something worth boasting about, but I would easily bet a lot of money I've designed more logos than anybody under the city's employment.
So why are they hiring a consultant if David can do it?
Well.
Okay, well, I just saw
Well,
the budget thing.
Don't go by that.
I want to-
That's Cargill.
I want to address
He's out
two of
there
those.
causing.
He's
yeah.
hot starting,
Let-
okay.
Since you brought that, up, I want to address two things regarding that. As we talked earlier about social media and believing what you read or don't believe what you read on social media, you people being the force multipliers in helping to engage the community and the facts. So two things I want to bring up. If you go into the Liberty Lake Community Facebook site, there's apparently this, as far as I know, it's a new resident who's come to Liberty Lake sometime around January. The person's got like 4 names, but I believe his name is Mr. Watch. And there was the claim there a few days ago, talking about the upcoming city council meeting, that quote, exact words here, tens of thousands of dollars would be spent on Liberty Lake developing a new logo. As our nation's president, Donald Trump, has frequently said in using this term, that, folks, is fake news. Totally, absolutely incorrect. The background on this, my second day on this job, the very first meeting I attended with the city council, the mayor told me the day before that she was going to be bringing up plans to change the city's logo. I said, okay, I can help with this. I'm new here. Here I can help,
Mhm.
be a part of this. So that came up on the agenda that night, from what I remember. And she had actually brought
We're talking
in,
about a couple of years ago.
this is almost 4 years ago.
4 years
Yeah.
ago.
Almost 4 years ago, April. She had brought in somebody from I think a local business who she had planned to do a presentation
It was
on.
Dane from Victory.
This fellow's planning to do a presentation of the logo. There was like a $12,000 budget for this. He never got the chance to speak. The council quickly silenced it because they did not get preparation for my interpretation of things, that this was coming up. Why are we changing the logo? Why were we not consulted on this? So that ended, which is a key reason why it's important to get community involvement, get your stakeholders involved in this sort of a planning and development process. The other thing I wanted to also correct for the record, last night, another post came up from Mr. Watch on the Facebook site from Liberty Lake Community saying, again, exact quote, the mayor and the council spent nearly 45 minutes debating this issue. Well, I looked
They
at
spent
the,
20.
I looked at the clocking on this. According to my watch, I believe Mr. Watch needs to buy a new watch. 20 minutes and about 20 seconds. I don't see how that's nearly 45 minutes, but closer to 30 or 15.
People just need to watch city council meetings.
Yes, you know, get your facts straight, folks. Get your facts straight.
Okay.
So, quick background, did anybody not watch the video yet from last night? I don't need to summarize stuff. Okay, good. I can skip some of this stuff. The mayor used the term marching orders as far as what the community engagement could be the next step on this. And the marching orders, I was asked to relay were the term that was used last night was a refresh, and a refresh means, as Leah said, slightly updating, not a total overhaul, total difference. So I gave you a couple of examples here. And the ideas, the logos I was thinking of showing you just happened to be logos that somebody else had already prepared for me on the internet. I was planning to show you Kentucky Fried Chicken and Mountain Dew to show you examples of what a redesign is versus a refresh. Look at the Kentucky Fried Chicken one. This was kind of like a gradual refresh, but they refreshed Colonel Sanders by like 1997. That is not a in some contexts it's a redesign, but really it's a refresh. They're kind of updating the look of what Colonel Sanders looks like. Of course, they did a total rebranding and changing the name of the company. The what's called the word mark for the company, which is basically the stylized words, the stylized letters of a company, that was totally redesigned in KFC's situation. We had two different fonts being used for Kentucky Fried Chicken in the 50s and the 80s. And then starting in the 1990s, total rebranding of the company's name. Now, Mountain Dew, the examples there between the first logo, the second logo, that's what's called a total redesign. And then the rest of that is what I would call a refreshing. It's, you can say Mountain Dew is refreshing. But there's quite a bit of a difference between, say, 1969 and the present logo. Gradually, a refresh can become a total redesign, but between step to step, in the case of Mountain Dew, this is an example of what's called a refresh. The last one I wanted to show you, the two logos, this is my former place of employment. And I'm showing this to you as an example of what a logo process should not be involving. The first logo there, this was the one that was there when I first showed up there. And towards my last couple of years, it was needing a vector redesign because I'm not sure to what degree some of you may know graphic design terms, but there's a vector graphic and there's a bitmap graphic. A bitmap would be typically like a photograph taken digitally. If you enlarge that, you're going to be seeing digitalized pixelization going on. It doesn't look like a smooth line. In vector graphics, the lines are always going to be smooth no matter how big, how small you scale those. So if you were to put a logo on a business card, it's going to look as great in vector as if you have it on a flag or on a
And
big
isn't
band.
isn't that the primary point?
They want to have a vector, something that's going to be
Not.
scalable to a larger size. Now, initially, I thought the city's logo was hand-drawn, at least partially, but I took a look at it more closely after enlarging it this afternoon. I was convinced those trees were hand-drawn, but I took a good close look at those. Those are actually all the same tree that are
Copy and pasted.
that are either reversed or enlarged, made smaller. And I can see that that could have been digitally done once and then copied that way. So again, showing you an example of what not to do. ESD 105. When I, shortly before I left there, we had this additional person come onto the staff, and literally within before her first lunch on the job, she said, I want to start efforts to change the agency's logo. You don't do something like that this quickly, folks. She was calling local graphic design companies in Yakima that week. We blew $1,200 on two bad-looking initial graphic designs on potential logos without doing any consulting with stakeholders, people in the community, people we were serving. I think they provided us like two graphic designs by the end of the first week. You gotta engage the community properly on this. This did not happen well. And the result is the second logo. And I think what happened was we had somebody who maybe was wanting to make a show of herself, make a big impression to begin with. And sometime after I left, this was the one, logo at the bottom was the one that eventually emerged. It's a terrible logo because please explain to me how it is scientifically possible for the sun to appear in front of two mountains and a mountain range. And what does this have to do with education anyway? Or the service area? So and granted, this part of the agenda could potentially take long, but I think from the conversations I've had this afternoon with some of the higher ups involved with this, again, to use the mayor's term, the marching orders are these three things for you folks tonight, just for tonight. We're thinking of, number one, refreshing the logo, not totally changing it. Yeah, that could happen maybe during some of the discussions later on, that maybe the conversation goes, yeah, let's totally change it. But the idea is to refresh. Look at the logo now. What do you like about it? What do you want to modify? What do you want to take out? What do you want to add to it? That's a refresh. The other part of the marching orders is the request by the Community Engagement Commission to propose some format of a focus group, a community focus group, or a work group to begin looking at this thing, developing some of the ideas. How does that look like? And then the third part of the marching orders is to propose the steps that you would like to see be taken in this engagement process, in this development process. Ultimately, this plan would be going to the city council. So I was asking Mark McAvoy this afternoon, I said, okay, how detailed do we want the commission to get on this? What's our timeline? Some of you may have heard the desire by some folks to have a new logo to be unveiled at the 4th of July event. I would question that if that's necessary, and Mark McAvoy does as well. Really, the goal is to have a great final product, not necessarily to have something by really an artificial date. I don't want to tell you, being somebody who doesn't live in the city, I'm not going to tell you my opinions on what you should do with the logo, what it should look like. But I would just raise the question, if people are coming to a big 4th of July event, are they there to see a logo unveiling?
Hell no.
No.
I think that invites criticism.
Yep.
And as I found out later this afternoon, the Parks and Arts Commission is planning to unveil some kind of a community art piece at that event anyway.
Yeah, the
Okay.
rock, what's that, the rock thing?
Do you want to have two of them? I'm just asking the question.
No.
And one thing that I thought came through loud and clear that we should keep close to the front of our mind is that there is a group. There will be some who have direct attachment to this logo and its creation, who are going to, the question is personal for them. I don't know how large the group is.
I got him right here.
Yeah.
That happened with me in Yakima. Same thing happened.
Yeah.
Also, so as I have thought about this and focus groups and how we might proceed, I've asked myself what value I might bring to a question about the design of a logo. And I was wondering what we would think of a focus group that consisted of, that was not random, but that consisted of people with graphic arts backgrounds and artistic experience, people whose lives, both in terms of computer art, you know, because we want a vector, what is it? We want a vector graphic.
I would tell you that a graphic designer would tell you to scrap it and start over.
Okay.
See, I'm not a graphic designer, but I am a
tell you
photographer
this,
and
I would, I
and-
have done graphics a
Well,
lot.
I know
yeah.
you have.
This
And
is-
I would tell you. this
from a
thing.
print standpoint, from an embroidery standpoint, from a vector standpoint, this is not a good design. You want this is a better city logo design than the current one because it's simple, it's recognizable, it's something that can be easily, you know, enlarged, shrunk. This one you shrink it down and it's like, how do you
There's way
see
too
what
much
it is?
detail in it.
There's far too much detail.
Way.
You would just not, if I was gonna tell you what to do. I would say scrap it, start all over and it.
But I,
would
d- you know,
work.
I don't want
But
to,
I don't want to,
I understand that people want to keep, like a piece of the
Pioneers.
heritage and whatever.
Might be only 5 people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
I mean,
zeros and
I'm-
ones is, I mean, that's like ancient history. We could have, glaciers in it,
Well,
the
okay.
lake or something.
Can we also recognize the fact that this, what did they say, Bernard Danes has been honored with
And he's
the
dead.
zeros and ones
He's
for
dead.
25 years.
see, the problem is with this is,
Does
this is
the entire
25 years
future of the city require that?
No.
and also, we have to realize that things have changed in the 25 years and how are we
Mhm.
gonna be more inclusive?
Right.
Yeah,
I love this. So the action items are to propose a focus group and define what the steps to go forward.
And I can assist you on that, because wasn't clear exactly what the timeline was for you folks. So I had another meeting with McAvoy this afternoon. He made the calendar much more reasonable to me than what I thought it was gonna be. So his suggestion, and it's up to you what direction you want to go with this. His suggestion is possibly, a focus group, we've had subcommittees in this commission before.
Mhm.
You may want to have a subcommittee come up with a plan about what's your recommendation for what the focus group is? Who is that?
Yeah.
Who do you bring that in? And then another thing that the focus group could do, and possibly this could be a second focus group with maybe one member sharing between I said focus group, subcommittee. You may have two subcommittees, maybe one of your members on both of them, just so you got dialogue between both. And that second, or at least have a subcommittee where you're looking at what is the process? Now, I would avoid looking at necessarily the timeline because I would not necessarily set a fixed date for the end of this. We don't want to do this for 2 years.
Yeah, not yet.
But
we can do that.
think of your wish list of, your name is Community Engagement Commission. Think of those first 2 words.
Yeah.
How do you engage the community in developing these steps? And what steps do you want to take?
Okay.
Contest.
I do think we need to be careful, though. We are the Community Engagement Commission, but we need to ask, and maybe it's our subcommittee that asks the question, what does that mean in this case? What value do we add to the process by inviting a bunch of Bill Normans to comment on what the logo should
I
be?
agree.
So Robin, are you willing to be a part of taking this on?
Yeah. Okay, here are my big wows, okay, on this. Is that this project, we want to make a statement, and the CEC wants to be an important portion of the city and the group, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and this will make us or break it. If we don't do it wrong, I believe, because I am a planner, and I think we need to do proper, like, writing down the timeline, writing down the big points, writing down the criteria, and looking at it from a holistic standard first, and not worry about the July 4th celebration.
That's already,
Okay.
that's already
Okay.
blown past.
yeah.
So then the next step is, what do we do? And maybe we have to have another meeting and we have to grab a flip chart and we say, what do we do now to get this plan in place? Then you start describing your focus groups. You start talking focus groups, you start brainstorming. Then you start making a plan and making sure we stay in contact with the city council, saying, here's what we're doing. Here's what we view as a timeline. But we ought to be in unison even before we start with the focus groups.
Of course. I don't know enough about Brittany and Lori's background. And I didn't hesitate to volunteer you, Robin, but.
No, I can see that. I'll do it. Okay.
But I don't think you should do it alone. I don't know, maybe we need to consult with them.
We could possibly put it up to
I'd like to have a
email
comment.
request, if the other 3 want to have one of
Yeah,
them
I
volunteer.
have a comment. So, I did this for a nonprofit a while back, and we had a contest. Anybody could enter the contest, any of the members of the nonprofit or the schools or whatever. And, we just put out and asked people to submit things. And so we could put out some criteria.
Yeah, Annie Kurtz, the councilwoman, suggested that,
Yeah.
like, do it as almost like a scholarship opportunity
Uh-huh.
through the high school.
For the high schools. I thought that was lovely.
But
I
I think
did
it should
too.
be for anybody. I mean, the AI
The
today,
graphics.
I can do a logo in about 1 minute. It's no problem.
Yeah,
It's not hard.
I don't know, we want to
And-
put that in the record, but.
Well,
I really want, I think we have to think,
There's a lot more that
Yeah.
goes into designing a logo than just
Then-
being aesthetically pleasing. It needs to be, there's accessibility issues like this one
Mhm.
with the zeros and ones. The
Okay.
colors, the accessibility as far as like,
No.
okay, you would like
For the
How-
visually impaired.
visually impaired, exactly, or people with, color blindness and stuff. There's gonna
Good
be,
point.
they experience it differently. And so things like all they're, for example, the trees are far too detailed,
Way
They
too
are.
detailed.
far too
Yeah.
detailed.
Well, the golf course has got too much in it, really, too. I
Yeah,
mean,
uh,
you can't really see it on any of the.
this was somebody's like baby, and I don't wanna like tear it apart, but just from like
Yeah.
traditional design concepts and stuff, it was a cool idea when it's this big.
Mhm.
Like if you're gonna have it on a big sign or something, but for practical application, it's not a great design. And I think it needs to be simplified a lot. And the design elements refined to less. I think they're just like, well, Liberty Lake is trees and golf and pavilion and sunset and lakes and let's put it all in there, and it's
let's put it all
much.
in. And
It's too much. We need to
much.
like narrow the focus on what does Liberty Lake represent.
And
So
we have
when
to
it's
change it.
Logo.
And we have to, logos are important, and that's why I want us as a group to be real successful in this.
Thank you, David.
So again, here is the request. You're not designing the logo.
No, I
but-
know.
But we wanted to, I was hoping to get some discussion to get some of your thoughts on this because it's interesting to me anyway. But I mean, and it gets you involved in thinking about this process. The request from city council, the mayor, staff last night. We need this group to come up with the initiation of what is our plan to involve the community in doing this? And I think that really means, how do we get a focus group? How do we get a work group to start this? And we could have a subcommittee do that over the next few weeks, have that subcommittee meet back with the commission a month from now, come up with a plan, have the rest of the commission agree to it, modify it, whatever, and then take it to the next step. And same thing with what are our steps we think we need to have done with this? For example,
Yeah,
yeah,
Participate.
exactly.
Plan.
so
But I feel like people from the city need to be involved in this too, because it's their logo. I mean, it's like, I'm not gonna go out and put the City of Liberty Lake logo on my sweatshirt. This is for you guys, so I feel like there should be some feedback from the people who are gonna be using it.
But I think that is exactly
Yeah.
what we're asking Robin and the group to develop is that strategy.
I mean, cause I don't know how it's like a huge like deal for the public unless we're gonna like put it on a water tower. And like, when I was a kid, Moses like redesigned their logo, and it was a big deal because they were putting it on all the water towers in town. And so everybody had to see it. So they did get public engagement on it, but I mean, what is the city puts it on city vehicles, some business cards, a sign?
Yes, and I found out last night, I didn't realize this, it is not on police cars,
Yeah,
Never
'cause
mind.
it's too detailed.
but it's on, the maintenance vehicles, road, streets vehicles. Things like the rock out here, they would not sandblast that and change it with the new
No.
logo. That's going to stay.
No, I'm not saying erase history or whatever. Like, I think that if you guys, for nostalgia purposes, kept some of this stuff around and we kept the old logo showing how it was, you could have like the stuff in the hall, whatever, where it still honors, the intent behind it. But when we're really looking at usability, accessibility and like modern technology and applications, just isn't.
I will
Yeah.
tell you, it has been eye-opening to me to sit here and see how critically, how we have attacked the current logo. That's a revelatory experience and it is not value that I would have brought to the discussion. I think this is awesome.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's something I noticed when I first like came to move here. I was like, that logo's kind of whack, but
So,
because it's just hard to
Well, it's not in.
to see. And if you're not from Liberty Lake, this means nothing to you. What is this?
so if we ask, so if between David and I, we reach out to Ralph and to Brittany and to keep Lori, to get another person or two to serve with you, then Robin.
I think we can find a way to do that without doing a rolling public meeting, I think, if I were
Well,
through direct.
just get
contact
somebody
like
to
that. Yeah.
step up and then you could arrange to get together virtually or in person. But in the weeks between now and our meeting in March, then suggest
I guess we could
Strategic
send out the recording. He could send out the recording of the video and say, hey, would you guys watch this?
Mhm.
And then would one of you be willing to help Robin?
And what we will be asking then is for discussion in March that addresses these questions. How might we engage the community and to what degree? I mean, the point is, I think, well taken that the community should be involved. My concern is that maybe we should be selective about which people in the community so that, again, we don't just
Well,
replicate Mark and
The
me.
thing is that you never know who's out there.
Well, but people who have,
I mean, there's some
I mean, what about like,
very creative
stakeholders?
people.
Like, I don't know. Who would be like the big stakeholders? Would that be like developers? I don't know, big businesses or whatever, say if they wanna
How
like,
are you defining stakeholders? What do you,
well, I mean,
Somebody
who,
use
in terms of what?
who would be,
Who cares about the logo?
who would care about the logo? And that's really just the city staff.
City staff.
City staff, and to some degree, there are residents who, they're gonna see it on cars,
city
and
staff are the
vehicles.
people who designed this one.
Yeah. So honestly, I think it's more of a city issue than it is a public engagement
That's what
thing.
I think.
And going back to the social media circle, you're gonna have people who, whenever the logo changes, they're
Some
gonna say, well, they
people
never
like
asked
to-
me, or I don't like this part about it. Why
So
didn't I
think
get
we should
it?
Ask them.
Yeah,
That's why I made the comment about Cracker Barrel.
yeah.
People are
So-
gonna be mad if we take the golf course out of the,
Well,
Who do we engage in
And-
now, and then what are the steps?
Well, that's
Yes.
what we have to do is.
What I-
do
what
that.
That's the task.
And,
That-
and in the plan, it talks about who are the major stakeholders? Who does this impact the most?
Mhm.
and the answer is the city.
And it would be
Yeah.
nice
The city, and all of this.
if a day or two before our next meeting, we could get a sort of summary or outline that we could see before we come to the meeting
Yeah,
to prepare ourselves for the discussion.
yeah. we should-
Is anybody present beyond Robin wanting to volunteer for the? And no,
I just don't know if I have bandwidth right now.
See,
'Cause
that's what I think. Mark's engaged
And
and
yeah,
I'm too loud.
and just in my role as guidance person on this, I will concur with you, Bill. It is a wise move to have some people with graphic design and art background with a project like this.
That's good.
yeah.
So
Okay, so,
I'll do some reaching out to the people who aren't here tonight and
okay,
get
and
a
you've already
third.
watched the video,
Yeah.
so Ralph has seen it.
Yeah. And, yeah,
I mean, I completely understand why some people are like have, that connection and nostalgia to it with like the founding of the city and they were an integral piece of that.
sure.
And I don't want to like disrespect that.
Well,
So, but I just from a art background, it's just not a very functional logo.
what I thought from an engagement point of view is to ask anybody who's interested really in working on it to submit a design. And then put it up on the website and people vote on what they like.
Right.
And maybe
I
that's
think
when your
That's a
step.
great idea.
And then.
It
and
doesn't
then-
have to be that exact design, but you can use it as the concept
Yeah,
and
right,
refine it.
yeah, exactly, exactly, and make some rules about it, say, we're looking for an update, and not a redesign, but some people will, of course, redesign the whole thing from beginning to end, which is fine.
Let's just be careful that, so agree, that could be one of the things that you as a
Yeah,
group will suggest to us. We're not the redesign people.
no,
No.
no. And then I think if you put it up on the website and you get some people to express what they like on there, then maybe 20 of those go over to the city council and they can pick.
And you know what that's called, Ralph?
Yeah,
Community engagement.
that's a community engagement. That's right. That's what that is. And some people will be interested, some people will think, no, I don't want anything to do with this. That's fine.
Okay. Good, we good?
Yeah.
Did we say that good enough for the minutes to be?
What specifically is the assigned expectation for the next meeting?
That this group is going to develop an overview or strategy that includes what community engagement might look like, including focus group or groups, and outline the steps, the progression from where we are to resolution of the whole city logo question.
You know, and I should have added, when McAvoy and I were looking at the calendar this afternoon, he was even suggesting, maybe it's going to be not till June or July that you first show something to the city council. And then, modifications will happen at that point.
Is that well enough defined, do you think, Robin?
Yeah, I think it's all a part, in my mind, of the public participation plan.
Yeah,
It's called, the City of Liberty Lake Public Participation Plan redesign.
right.
Okay,
That's what
Okay.
we call it.
take that ball and run with it.
And then we develop this plan, we take it before this group. We hash it through
Yep,
and we,
exactly.
Sure.
cause we want to have something to show the city council that we are taking and that we are a significant group.
Okay. And as, if you have any questions between now and then, probably David is the best person to bring them
Yeah.
to.
Bug me away.
Okay.
But
I like this topic.
David never answers his phone.
I know when you call because it's zeros and I call and I answer it. She got like 3 zeros in her phone number.
Okay. The final item is any other upcoming opportunities. I'm not aware of.
I just wanted to add, and I was going to say this earlier, I want to commend you, Bill, for the very stunningly spectacular presentation you did last night. Very eloquent, very well worded. Let's get you up there every meeting.
It was good having Leah there with me too.
I was there for moral support. You did all the talking.
Yeah.
I thought it was very well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good job.
Our next meeting is scheduled for March 18th. That looking good for everybody?
March 18th.
Yep, 6 PM, third Wednesday.
Agenda items.
Yeah, any agenda items that we have at the tip of our tongue? We
I'll
know,
have a final
Yeah.
capital facilities work group, like
Okay.
update.
okay, so we'll want to repeat that, but we'll want to make sure that we reserve ample time for the discussion that's going to be generated by the work of Robin's group. Okay,
Okay, very good.
the chair then entertains a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Okay,
It's like,
I motion that we adjourn.
There's a second.
second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Oh, I love that.